So this is kind of like speed dating 40 people at the same time. They give us 10 minutes, so we'll just get kicked off. My name is Matthew Hornor. I'm the CEO of Maple Gold Mines. Started trading under the new symbol MGM just today. In the last 6 months, we've transformed the company dramatically. We've changed the board almost entirely, the management team, the exploration team. I'll go into that in a minute. But what you have in Maple Gold Mines is a well-funded gold company in Quebec, sitting with a large land package of 370 square kilometers, and we'll get into that in a second. But first, I'd like to tell you why I joined the company. I came from the Ivanhoe Mines group, where I worked with Robert Friedland for about 12 years, raising a lot of money for him and all of his projects. And I looked at this carefully, and my approach was that similar, I think, to many of you in the audience. I looked at this as first as an investor, to see if it checked the boxes for the type of company I'd like to invest in first. And I knew that if I was able to convince myself and get comfortable on that score, I'd be okay leading the company and telling the story and getting out and making it a success itself. So some of the boxes that I needed to check before I joined were certain things that I recommend you all do for any of the companies in the room. Look at the jurisdiction. In this case, we're in Canada and Quebec, so it easily checks the jurisdiction box. It's better to have a company that has a gold resource already rather than just exploration upside. We're starting with just about a 3 million ounce resource as our maiden resource. And our infrastructure is absolutely fantastic. The exploration upside is tremendous, and the one thing that was lacking when I first looked at the project, the management team I didn't think was properly situated to bring the project forward, and that's why I decided to come on in May of this year and to turn things around. So we changed the name to Maple Gold Mines because it tells the audience what we're doing and where we're doing it. We're in Canada. Of course, it's very stable there. Quebec is the 6th best mining jurisdiction in the world. We're in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. This belt alone has been responsible for about 200 million ounces of gold production. And over the last 5 years, this is something you should pay close attention to, $7 billion in M&A transactions just in our region. Some of them include Osisko in 2014, Lakeshore Gold, Horizon, Integra, Probe, and IAM Gold. I really like the IAM Gold story because it involves some of my friends out of Japan, Sumitomo Metal Mining. They're very keen to increase their gold portfolios in the world, and especially in Quebec and Canada. The Côté project that Sumitomo invested in is about 200 kilometers from where we sit. So if you're looking for a potential blueprint for where Maple Gold Mines is going, I invite you to study that case closely. Average gold grades for 1 million ounce plus deposits worldwide is actually around where we are, 1.06 or 1.05. Average grades total is below a gram, and average grades for undeveloped deposits is only 0.66. So to find a 1 million ounce plus deposit anywhere at over a gram is not easy to do. We're starting with 3 million ounces, sitting in the best jurisdiction with 55 kilometers of strike. Here's the project history. I'm not going to go into much of this for lack of time, but the project started its life in 1976. We inherited 220,000 meters of core, which is all in great shape. So when I was handed the mantle of CEO, we were sitting on 2.8 million ounces of inferred resource and a hell of a lot of upside. So my job first was to change the team and make sure we had the best chance of success in increasing the ounces, not only in the existing area, but also outside of it. Because as you'll see in a second, we have a very large land package. Most of the land package has never been explored properly. So here's where we sit. We're surrounded by existing and past gold producers. We're right along the Casabardi Deformation Zone, south and north. We're exactly where we want to be. There's infrastructure everywhere. You can fly in from Montreal or Toronto to Val d'Or and then drive 45 minutes to Amos, and then a 45-minute trip from there on a bus. You can drive right up to our, I'll show you a picture in a second, to our camp, and it shows very nicely. And before I forget, next week we're having all of the institutional banks go up to start running some coverage on the project. So later in this year, I think you'll see some coverage from some of the bigger banks in Canada. Here's our resource estimate that was put out prior to the 24,000 meters of drilling that we completed this year. So that number should be considerably larger already. We're doing a 30,000 meter drill campaign starting late December, January of this year and early next year. So the next resource estimate will include somewhere north of 50,000 meters, and we should put that out Q1, Q2 of next year. To give you a sense of scale, the main porphyry area that has just over 2 million ounces sits right in the center. I call it the fairway. The Dewey West area, as you can see, is over 2 grams. That's a 339,000 ounce deposit there. And so what we're doing now is we're going about connecting some of the high-grade pods to the main porphyry section. And if we're successful in doing this, this will be the largest gold open pit production story in the planet. No royalties on any of our project except for 40,000 ounces. So that's also something unique to us. So here's something else that stimulated my hand-to-wall reflex to invest in this company. It's situated nicely in the capital markets because the EV per ounce is very, very low. If you look at some of our sister gold companies, we're quite well priced. Here's some of our share ownership. You can see management insiders own under 10%, just around 10%. Retail's 46%. Institution, Case Depose, and Sidex, they're Montreal funds. Our share price since I took over is right there. Right now, we've just completed, as I said, the transition from the old management team to the new management team. Today marks the first day of trading under the new name and new symbol, MGM. I was kind of hoping that some people trying to buy MGM Casino stock would make a mistake and buy our stock and have it run up to $30 for about 5 minutes, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. But as we bring this story forward, we start the drill campaign in January of next year. I think you'll see some fantastic and exciting results coming to our project. So this is a nice time to get involved. You're buying the stock at my price. As I said, I came into this story as an investor first. So I guess unfortunately for me, but fortunately for you, I don't have 50 million shares at a penny. I buy him the shares. I'm in the market myself. So that's something that should make you feel comfortable as well if you want to become a part of our story. So let's talk for a few minutes about the management team and technical team. I used to work, as I said, for Robert Friedland in the Ivanhoe Mines world with David Broughton. I think many people in this room would agree that he's maybe the most famous exploration geologist, or the top 5 anyway. There he is receiving the Thayer Lindsay Award at PDAC in 2015 for the Komodo project. That's 1 billion tons of copper in the copper belt in DRC. Pierre Lebel is the chairman of Imperial Metals. He's on the board. There's Dave again accepting another award. The only annoying thing about Dave is he keeps globe-trotting, collecting these medals for all these exploration successes he's had. So he is running the technical committee over Fred Spidell, who's had 28 years at First Quantum Antofagasta. So to say that our exploration team is best in class is, I think, an understatement. There he is looking very professorial, looking at some of our 220,000 meters of core. What we're doing this year and what we've put together is the exploration program that comprises not only the geophysics data and some of the geological data, but now geochemical data as well. So we're increasing the likelihood of success by having a geologic model put together, and the drilling campaign will start in January on the basis of a new model and a new team. Again, 25 to 30,000 meters starting in the winter. here's kind of what the program will look like. We put out this press release recently to show kind of where we're headed and what we're going to be doing. I think the next press release you'll see is a little more refined version of this, and then the drills will start turning in January of next year. Here's what it looks like if you want to come up to site and visit. You're welcome anytime. 370 square kilometers, as I mentioned, 3 million ounces of maiden resource today. That's what you're buying, and you're buying it essentially for nothing. Because if you look at where we're priced at $43 million, this is absolutely a company that I feel very passionate about and I love being a part of. So again, just to wrap up, it checked all the boxes for me. The jurisdiction is clearly excellent. There's a resource today. We have a little crack in the earth where 3 million ounces has shown itself to us, and now we're going to keep walking down the strike to increase that resource significantly. And now we have the management team in place, especially David Broughton and his crew, to drive the story forward and go to new heights. So I invite you all to come and be part of the story, and I'm happy to answer any questions along with Jonas Lang, who's in the back there at the booth, which is just over there. Thank you all for listening.